Welcome back, weather watchers, and brace yourselves for what could be the most shocking meteorological reversal of the entire winter. In the next 72 hours, 60 million Britons will witness an atmospheric battle so dramatic it will redefine January as we know it. 3 weeks of proper Arctic conditions that buried parts of Scotland under a metre of snow are about to surrender spectacularly. But here's what the computer models aren't telling the mainstream media. This isn't just a simple thaw we're dealing with. What's happening right now represents the most aggressive Atlantic invasion our weather systems have seen this season. That massive blocking high pressure that froze us solid since Christmas is retreating, but it's fighting back with devastating consequences. The result is a meteorological avalanche of rain, wind, and temperature chaos that will leave millions wondering what hit them. Right now, London faces potential flooding, Manchester braces for hurricane-force gusts, and Edinburgh could see the wettest week in decades. Current radar reveals walls of rain so massive they're visible from space, advancing like liquid tsunamis across the Atlantic. This morning's transition from -4 degrees to double digits represents a temperature rocket ship that's frankly unprecedented. We're talking about 15-degree temperature swings in 12 hours, the kind of atmospheric violence that breaks records. But here's where it gets genuinely frightening. Northern Scotland's mountain snowpack is collapsing faster than authorities can respond. Areas holding up to a metre of accumulated snow are now experiencing catastrophic melt rates, triggering emergency flood warnings. Wind warnings scream across weather centres as approaching Atlantic storms develop pressure drops that would impress hurricane forecasters. Monday unleashes temperatures so mild they'll feel almost tropical compared to the Arctic nightmare we've been enduring. 8 to 10 degrees might sound pleasant, but it represents the meteorological equivalent of atmospheric whiplash for our climate. Tuesday brings the first counterattack from the north as polar air attempts to reclaim territory from this Atlantic invasion. The temperature battlefield stretches from the highlands to the home counties, as competing air masses wage war above our heads. Wednesday delivers what could be the most dramatic temperature crash of the week as Arctic revenge strikes with brutal efficiency. Widespread frost returns overnight, but this time it's different. It's the frost of a wounded winter fighting for survival. Thursday's brief Atlantic recovery feels like a temporary ceasefire in this epic atmospheric conflict raging above Britain. Now let me break down exactly what this means for major cities across our embattled nation. London faces the most dramatic transformation, from Sunday's potential 11 degrees dropping to Wednesday's brutal 2 degrees with widespread frost. The capital experiences its first major rainfall event since early January, with 25 to 35 millimeters expected between Sunday and Tuesday. Monday morning commuters in London face temperatures climbing rapidly from 4 degrees at dawn to 9 degrees by afternoon. Tuesday sees London's battle lines drawn as northerly winds attempt to push temperatures down to 6 degrees with scattered showers. Wednesday delivers London's Arctic shock. Overnight lows plummets to -1 degree with morning frost affecting suburban areas. Manchester confronts even more dramatic swings. Sunday's mild 10 degrees crashing to Wednesday's harsh -2 degrees. The industrial northwest becomes ground zero for competing air masses, with winds gusting to 50 miles per hour on Monday. Manchester Monday features persistent heavy rain with temperatures steady around 8 degrees throughout the day. Tuesday brings Manchester's first taste of Arctic counterattack, temperatures struggling to reach 5 degrees with frequent showers. Wednesday sees Manchester under full polar assault, morning frost at -3 degrees with afternoon temperatures barely reaching 3 degrees. Birmingham sits directly in the crosshairs of this atmospheric warfare, experiencing the most volatile temperature swings. The Midlands metropolis faces Sunday's pleasant 9 degrees, deteriorating to Wednesday's bitter -1 degree overnight. Birmingham Monday showcases classic transitional weather. Morning rain clearing to afternoon sunshine, with temperatures reaching 8 degrees. Tuesday delivers Birmingham's atmospheric tug-of-war, northerly winds battling southern warmth, resulting in 6 degrees with mixed conditions. Wednesday brings Birmingham's winter revenge, widespread frost at -2 degrees, with daytime temperatures struggling to 4 degrees. Edinburgh faces the most extreme battle conditions as Scottish mountains channel Arctic air directly into the city. Scotland's capital experiences Sunday's remarkable 8 degrees, plummeting to Wednesday's savage -4 degrees. Edinburgh Monday features heavy persistent rain, with temperatures holding steady at 7 degrees despite continuous precipitation. Tuesday sees Edinburgh's fierce northern winds asserting dominance, temperatures dropping to 4 degrees with blustery conditions. Wednesday unleashes Edinburgh's full Arctic fury, morning frost at -5 degrees, with afternoon temperatures barely reaching 2 degrees. Glasgow confronts similar extremes, but with added industrial heating effects moderating the worst temperature drops. Scotland's largest city swings from Sunday's mild 8 degrees to Wednesday's harsh -3 degrees, with urban heat island effects. Glasgow Monday brings torrential downpours, with temperatures maintaining 7 degrees throughout persistent rainfall. Tuesday delivers Glasgow's atmospheric conflict, northerly gusts battling urban warmth resulting in 5 degrees with mixed showers. Wednesday sees Glasgow under polar siege, suburban frost at -4 degrees with city centre temperatures reaching only 3 degrees. Newcastle experiences the most brutal northern exposure as Pennine Gaps channel Arctic air directly through the city. The northeast stronghold faces Sunday's pleasant 8 degrees, crashing to Wednesday's punishing -5 degrees. Newcastle Monday features driving rain with strong easterly winds maintaining temperatures around 6 degrees. Tuesday brings Newcastle's Arctic preview, bitter northerly winds dropping temperatures to 3 degrees with frequent snow showers. Wednesday delivers Newcastle's full polar punishment, overnight frost at -6 degrees with daytime highs struggling to 1 degree. Leeds sits in the Pennine Corridor, where competing air masses clash most violently above Yorkshire valleys. West Yorkshire's hub swings from Sunday's comfortable 9 degrees to Wednesday's bitter -2 degrees. Leeds Monday showcases transitional warfare, morning rain giving way to afternoon brightness with temperatures reaching 7 degrees. Tuesday sees Leeds caught in atmospheric crossfire, competing winds producing 5 degrees with alternating rain and sunshine. Wednesday brings Leeds under Arctic occupation, morning frost at -3 degrees with afternoon temperatures barely reaching 4 degrees. Liverpool faces Atlantic fury head-on, as westerly moisture battles incoming Arctic air along the Mersey corridor. Merseyside experiences Sunday's mild 10 degrees, deteriorating to Wednesday's sharp -1 degree. Liverpool Monday features persistent Atlantic rain, with strong southwesterly winds maintaining 8 degrees. Tuesday delivers Liverpool's atmospheric conflict, westerly moisture meeting northern cold, producing 6 degrees with heavy showers. Wednesday sees Liverpool under polar influence, morning frost at -2 degrees with daytime temperatures reaching only 5 degrees. Cardiff benefits from partial Welsh mountain protection, but still experiences significant temperature warfare. The Welsh capital swings from Sunday's pleasant 10 degrees to Wednesday's chilly 1 degree with mountain frost. Cardiff Monday brings moderate rainfall with southerly winds maintaining temperatures around 8 degrees. Tuesday sees Cardiff's mountain-moderated battle, northerly air attempting penetration but achieving only 6 degrees. Wednesday delivers Cardiff's muted Arctic response, valley frost at 0 degrees with afternoon temperatures reaching 5 degrees. Bristol experiences southwestern exposure to Atlantic moisture while remaining vulnerable to northern Arctic incursions. The southwest hub faces Sunday's comfortable 10 degrees, dropping to Wednesday's crisp 1 degree. Bristol Monday features Atlantic-driven rainfall, with mild southwesterly winds producing 8 degrees. Tuesday brings Bristol's atmospheric compromise, competing air masses settling on 6 degrees with mixed conditions. Wednesday sees Bristol under partial Arctic influence, light frost at 0 degrees with daytime temperatures reaching 5 degrees. Now, listen carefully. I need to hear from those of you living on the front lines of this weather war. Are you in the Scottish Highlands watching mountain snow disappear faster than you've ever seen before? Perhaps you're in storm-battered Cornwall, where Atlantic fury meets British coastline in spectacular fashion. Maybe you're in Yorkshire, caught between southern warmth and northern cold like a meteorological sandwich filling. Drop your location in the comments now, because what's coming next will affect every single region differently. The longer-range forecast reveals something that honestly sent chills down my spine when I first saw it. Massive blocking patterns across Eastern Europe are creating what scientists call atmospheric dams of unprecedented scale. These force our jet stream into positions so extreme it's diving toward North Africa like a meteorological cliff diver. For Britain, this creates a conveyor belt of Atlantic storms that could deliver the wettest fortnight since records began. But here's the terrifying part. Around January 18th, something potentially catastrophic begins to develop. 1 in 4 computer models now shows that blocking pattern suddenly strengthening and shifting westward like a closing trap. This scenario would trigger easterly winds capable of dragging Siberian air masses directly into British territory. We're talking about potential temperature drops to -15 degrees, cold enough to freeze the Thames tributaries solid. While this remains a minority forecast, it's appeared consistently enough to make veteran meteorologists genuinely nervous. European models oscillate between depicting mild Atlantic dominance and Arctic invasions so severe they'd rewrite history books. Looking ahead to next weekend, London could experience its coldest January night since 2010 if these patterns materialise. Manchester faces potential Saturday temperatures of -8 degrees, with Sunday barely reaching freezing point. Birmingham might witness its most severe cold snap since the legendary winter of 2010, with sustained sub-zero conditions. Edinburgh could endure Saturday night temperatures dropping to -12 degrees, with Sunday afternoon reaching only -2 degrees. Glasgow faces similar Arctic punishment, with Saturday overnight lows of -10 degrees and Sunday highs of just -1 degree. Newcastle braces for potentially the coldest weekend in over a decade, with Saturday night lows of -14 degrees. Leeds could experience Saturday temperatures that don't rise above -5 degrees throughout the entire day. Liverpool faces Saturday night frost of -6 degrees, with Sunday struggling to reach 2 degrees. Cardiff might witness its coldest January weekend since records began, with Saturday overnight lows of -7 degrees. Bristol prepares for Saturday night temperatures dropping to -5 degrees, with Sunday afternoon peaks of just 3 degrees. For those craving more winter drama, late January emerges as nature's potential grand finale performance. Cities like Newcastle, Leeds and Glasgow could experience their most significant snowfall since the legendary winters of decades past. Meanwhile, typically mild southern regions, including Brighton, Bristol and Plymouth, face potential Arctic shocks of biblical proportions. The critical factor remains whether atmospheric pressure systems align perfectly to create what I call the perfect storm scenario. Think of it as needing the meteorological equivalent of a royal flush for maximum winter chaos to unfold. Current precipitation maps reveal Atlantic moisture moving in waves so relentless they resemble an oceanic blitzkrieg. Western regions face alternating deluge and drought as storm systems march past like weather soldiers in formation. Eastern areas become prisoners of slow-moving rain systems that linger with the persistence of unwelcome house guests. Temperature patterns for the next 10 days suggest what meteorologists privately call the calm before the Arctic storm. After 3 weeks of genuinely shocking winter conditions that paralyzed transport and broke heating systems nationwide, normality seems almost suspicious. Average temperatures and routine rainfall feel like nature's way of lulling us into false security before the next assault. Those missing recent winter wonderland chaos should prepare themselves. Late January could deliver winter's ultimate revenge. The atmospheric signals supporting another Arctic outbreak haven't vanished. They're consolidating forces for maximum impact. Regional weather warfare intensifies as different air masses establish territorial claims across the British Isles. Scottish mountains remain winter's last fortress, defending altitudes above 400 metres with persistent snow and ice. Coastal areas from Aberdeen to Dover become battlegrounds, where maritime warmth clashes with continental cold in spectacular fashion. Inland regions, including the Midlands, endure meteorological siege warfare as competing weather systems refuse to surrender territory. Here's the brutal truth. This weather pattern represents nature's equivalent of psychological warfare against British resilience. Neither the bitter cold that tests our heating bills nor the mild relief our wallets crave. Instead, we face relentless uncertainty, with just enough atmospheric chaos to keep emergency services on permanent alert. Next Thursday could bring London's heaviest January snowfall since 2013, if Eastern European blocking strengthens as predicted. Manchester might experience next Friday's most severe blizzard conditions since the infamous March 2018 beast from the east. Birmingham faces potential next weekend Arctic conditions, rivaling the legendary January 1987 freeze. Edinburgh could witness next week's most dramatic snowfall accumulation since the record-breaking December 2010 events. Glasgow prepares for potential next weekend snow totals that could exceed anything witnessed since the Great January 1982 blizzard. I'll be monitoring those late January signals like a hawk, because if they materialize, they could deliver winter's knockout punch. Subscribe immediately for daily updates as this epic battle between Atlantic invasion and Arctic resistance continues. Your local observations from the weather front lines could provide crucial intelligence for upcoming forecasts. Until tomorrow's update, stay vigilant during this deceptively calm phase and prepare for potential meteorological warfare ahead. British weather never surrenders quietly, and late January might just prove that winters can still deliver devastating surprises. Keep your heating systems ready, your winter clothing accessible, and your weather apps refreshed for rapid developments. The next 72 hours will determine whether we're entering a brief respite or the opening moves of winter's final campaign.